me now in welcoming Alisha Ramar. She's Learning and Development Manager Africa at AB InBev. AB InBev and LRMG started their journey together in December 2020 with a strategic mandate to create an AB InBev Africa leadership identity. LRMG partnered with Alisha's team to design and implement the first Move Me Leadership Lift transformation program called iLead. 450 iLeaders from across Africa accepted the call to adventure and immersed themselves in a 2-year journey that delivered superior business results. iLeaders engaged with courage. They were able to ask the difficult questions that led to breakthrough answers as they were moved by the storytelling, strengths-based coaching, reflection, and celebrating successes. Alisha's passion, innovative and progressive thinking is evident in the talent density at AB InBev today. Tracy Pinner is the one that's going to be managing Alisha's Q&A straight after that. So from one Alisha to another, I'd like to welcome you to the platform with us this morning, Alisha, and the stage is yours.
Thank you, Alisha. So that's clear. We're all Alisha'd out. And thank you, LRMG, for that great introduction and for welcoming me to your summit today. I'm so glad to be here. Today, I'm going to share with you a story in true LRMG fashion of how we took our leaders on a truly transformational leadership journey. A journey of self-discovery, courageous conversations, habit stacking, and leaning on our strengths so that we could unleash our full potential. And I know those are a lot of words: habit stacking, leaning on our strengths. I'll uncover that later in the presentation. And when we did this, we were able to ignite a passion and purpose to deliver our legacy as leaders, as individuals, but also as a zone leadership team, making our company better than what we found it. And so the iLead Africa journey was born. But every story starts with a challenge, a hurdle to overcome. So let's start there. 2020 was a tough year for everyone. In the blink of an eye, the world had changed. Our industry especially felt a lot of the pressure and the pain during that period. And whilst our people navigated the disruption in the best possible way they could, we realized that there were still some gaps that we needed to close. And these were things like a lack of awareness among some of our leaders in terms of the role that they were expected to play at AB InBev. There were key accountabilities, leadership accountabilities that leaders saw as the company's responsibility instead of their own. And there were also varying levels of leadership capabilities for these accountabilities, with a lack of supporting tools and information to help our leaders close the gap. We were very fortunate in that our CEO and his entire leadership team were very invested in ensuring leaders were not just trained, but developed and transformed. They challenged us to think about our approach in a very different way, with a provocation that we deliver a learning that was non-traditional and not once-off classroom training sessions. These guiding principles helped us really define our learning journey and helped us to select the best possible content, the best delivery method, and the best partner to deliver on our expectations. As you would see in the slide, that we really did focus on a targeted group of leaders. We wanted to start with the top senior leaders in the business and work our way through that. We wanted customized content that was relevant to our business challenges. We wanted this to be a leadership transformation journey, not a once-off training session. We wanted our leaders to collaborate and learn from each other. We wanted our leaders to be able to cascade their learning to their teams. And we did this by making the learning experience simple and impactful. And we wanted it to be sustainable and to be able to evolve. As you would have noticed, I referred to iLead as a journey and not a leadership program. A journey would give us the opportunity to be flexible, pausing when we needed to look inwards and reflect or give feedback, accelerate when we mastered something, and the space to co-create the learning and experience with our leaders. We did not want our leaders to merely understand the content we were giving them. We really, really wanted them to live it. And so LRMG's solution of storytelling, courageous conversations, and coaching became a compelling solution to address our needs. When we look at what good looks like, In crafting any leadership journey, we needed to understand what good looks like. What will the outcome of our story be? We wanted Africa's zone leaders who understood their identity as an AB InBev leader. We wanted to create great leaders who wanted to create a leadership legacy. But we were also on a mission to develop fanatical owners that can ignite their team's passion and purpose and drive outstanding results. I've mentioned leadership identities quite a bit, and these leadership identities really showcase what it means to be a leader at AB InBev. It provides us with the clarity of role of a leader with guidelines on what needs to be done to deliver on our vision and mission. Once we defined what we expected of our leaders, we were easily able to take them on the iLead journey so that they could anchor themselves into these identities. We wanted leaders who were fanatical owners that took accountability and were self-aware, leaders that could drive high levels of team engagement, that nurtured innovative mindsets, that were able to deliver on a high-performing team of fanatical owners, as well as foster a diverse and inclusive environment.
This is our story, our journey, our legacy. AB InBev, as we know it today, started from humble beginnings. Our visionary leaders built a company that stood the test of time. Their passion and commitment to their craft laid the foundation for the company we are today. We are the world's largest brewer. We have a diverse geographic footprint. We offer the world's most valuable portfolio of beer brands. In Africa, our operations span across 12 countries where we produce and sell much-loved homegrown beer brands. These, together with our iconic global brands, enable us to bring people together to form lasting relationships over great-tasting beer. Our predecessors have gifted us with this formidable legacy. The baton has now been passed to us. We have an amazing privilege as leaders to deliver our dream of Africa being the growth engine of our global company. We must respond to this call to action with passion and purpose. We need to take fanatical ownership of delivering results, inspire high levels of team engagement, foster a diverse and inclusive environment, develop high-performing teams of more fanatical owners, and nurture innovative mindsets. Together, we can continue to build our legendary company, a company we can be proud to pass on to the next generation of AB InBev leaders. This will be our leadership legacy, my leadership legacy. I commit. Challenge accepted.
2 years later, and I still get goosebumps from watching this video. And this is just something I wanted to share with you that we played with to our leaders when we launched the event, and really to get them to understand what it is we wanted to achieve and why we were doing what we were doing. So with iLead being a journey, we really needed to create intent on building this journey, this transformational leadership journey. And so the following became the building blocks of everything we did. We looked at introducing courageous conversations, so building a culture of conversation, sharing opinions and ideas, a culture of discussion versus a culture of debate, courageous conversations where, those are those conversations that we know we should be having, but we don't want to. And then creating that honest and safe space to do that. And we did this with our pod collabs, where we brought leaders from across the continent, across the functions, and we had the conversations facilitated by some really good pod coaches. We then also looked at strengths and how we leveraged the strength of the group and the strength of the individual so that we could learn together and grow. Leaders went through a strength scope assessment to leverage their individual strengths for high performance. We then taught them about what strengths are, what overdrive behaviors are, and what energy drainers are, so that they're aware. And then each one of our leaders got a strength profile with suggested actions on how to develop their own leadership effectiveness. And we brought this together also for the teams and did a team strengths profile and looked at how the teams could work together and collaborate and assist each other. Looking at habits, we really focused on building identity-based habits to shift behavior. Habits became the depth and breadth of everything we did because we believe that it's the small actions now that make the big changes in the future. So really it was focusing on building habits, busting habits, and using that individual strength and our workplace toolkits to make it come alive in the workplace. And then we did ongoing reflections and feedback on the process because we really wanted to live the change and be deliberate about the changes we wanted to see in our leaders. You know, and just to talk about our journey and what that meant, you know, with us wanting iLead to be an experiential learning journey, we created a learning flow that we believe would make the learning come alive through immersing our leaders in case studies and self-reflection, engaging them with the workplace toolkits and helping them evolve and live into their leadership identities through the pod collaboration and coaching sessions. We ran our learning session virtually and for the first time connected almost 450 leaders across Africa digitally to learn and collaborate in a cross-functional way, something we've never really done before. Another important call out was that the leadership development journey was not a mandatory ask. The senior leaders in the business believed that this is something we should do as a way to attract leaders to come and join us and not push onto them as something that, you know, is a tick box exercise. And so we invited leaders in the business to enroll for the iLead journey. Our CEO and our Mancom team led the call to action. They were at the forefront with us. And we had 92% of the most senior leaders in the business enroll and complete the iLead journey in 2021. You know, when we look at what was the learning experience like and you know, how did we come about choosing high impact performance case studies? We realized the power of storytelling and that when it was done right and correctly, it could inspire leaders to action. So this is the learning approach we took. Our goal was to link each of our identities to a compelling case study that delivered an inspirational message. So when we looked at fanatical ownership, we linked it to the Springboks case study. When we talked about high levels of team engagement, we linked it to U2, yes, U2, the rock band, which was an interesting story. When we talked about high performance, we told them the story of the boys in the boat. And when we looked at diversity and inclusion, we told them the story of Virginia Hall and Rosa Parks. And lastly, when we talked about nurturing innovative mindsets, we really took them through the story of Netflix. We wanted our leaders to be moved by these stories, whilst at the same time providing them with teachable moments so that they can understand the leadership identity, its attributes, and its expectations. This was achieved through pod conversations during our case study sessions, where leaders were challenged to think differently and have those courageous conversations we were not having. And we were supported by a wonderful team of storytellers, moderators, and pod coaches. These sessions were followed by reflection exercise, journaling so that we can learn to build, bust, and adopt habits, as well as the implementation of the practical workplace toolkits so that leaders could put into practice what they've learned. When they were done and they've had enough time to practice, learn, engage with their teams around the ideas that they learned, we brought them back into a pod collab session where they shared their challenges, their best practices, and learned from each other. This created that safe space for strength-based conversations, celebrating successes, self-reflection, was really energy building, was a place for real true talks, inspiration, and much, much more. Whilst most learning programs start with all the content neatly packaged upfront, with a tiny pretty bow, as some of my colleagues would like to say, iLead was built in the flow of our learning journey. We worked closely with the LRMG team to select and customize the case studies we felt would deliver the best learning experience. We also built out each session in the moment, learning from and taking into account any improvements from previous sessions. I think my partners at LRMG will agree with me that there were many moments during this process where we pushed the boundaries and we challenged them to think beyond what was already done. I remember going into a prep meeting for our final case study session and just reviewing leader comments, said to the team, I don't think the case study we selected is going to deliver the right learning experience. And asked them, well, is there anything else that you have? Only to be told they were thinking about a story of Netflix, to which I said, Netflix, great, Netflix it is. But the story hadn't been written yet. It was merely a concept that was being researched. And the other hurdle was that we just had under 6 weeks before we were meant to go live with the next case study session. But in the true spirit of collaboration, partnership, and commitment of a great team, we delivered the story of Netflix. And amazingly enough, it was rated the best case study in terms of NPS by our leaders. Another fun fact is the story that we were telling was a story of innovation and nurturing innovative mindsets. So it was only, key that we do that in our thinking in terms of the design process. I think now is a good time for me to share with you a video that I think sums up our learning journey, the case studies and what our leaders would have taken out, and the experience that they would have received through the program and the journey so far. So let me just.
Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. Sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah.
As you can see, the leaders got quite a full toolkit and toolbox to go back into the workplace with. The iLead leadership journey was a massive success, with an ask from both the leaders and our CEO to continue the journey in 2022. And so iLead Evolution was born. We received great feedback from our leaders around it being brilliant, life-changing, transformational, powerful storytelling and moderation, outstanding pod coaching, which we did. We had the best pod coaches, the best leadership journey I've ever been on. And I think these things we really took to heart, which then you could see translated in some of our results in terms of our NPSs that were really, really outstanding. And true to form, here's Netflix with an NPS of 85. But I think most importantly, apart from the numbers, apart from the survey and the polls, we had some real achievements in terms of the way our leaders engaged with their teams through team engagement. There was a lot of feedback happening. There was a lot of conversations happening. There was a lot of collaboration, best practice sharing that was happening, which I think was the end game. And most importantly, we achieved our goal of igniting our leaders' passion and purpose and their desire to leave a lasting legacy for the next generation of AB InBev leaders. Thanks.